45 minutes, but it's worth the effort.
It sure is.
Yeah, so we're going to show that here, get started on that here in just a few minutes. The other thing is Mike and I were on Norse last Friday night. Yeah, and it didn't turn out as good. I think we wound up putting 8 in the boat, and we had about 4 more fish that we lost or missed, get off on us and that kind of thing. It was a slow bite, Mike.
It sure was.
Yeah.
Even with that full moon, it was.
Yeah, the moon out bright. It was a slow night. We couldn't get zeroed in on them, and so we were going to save that 3 minutes of film we got till next week, and hopefully, if the rain doesn't mess us up, Mike's planning on going tomorrow night, I think.
Try to,
yeah, depending on the weather. I've got to do a little work Saturday, and if it's not raining Saturday afternoon, I'm going to go for a little while.
Yeah.
And see if we can. Still got about a quarter moon, but it gets way late in the morning when it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock. Yeah. But we're going to go try them and see. And I'm hoping they're still pulling the water down up there, Mike.
Yeah, me too. The other night after all the baits that I went through, and I know you changed a few of them out.
Yeah.
Stuff there, and then come back in there, and I got down, and I never even put a fish in the boat till right there at the last, and caught 2 just back to back. And I'd got down in the boat, and that Z-hog watermelon that I'd been throwing, I took that dang Sharpie and went up and down the back of it.
Yeah.
Put a black streak in the back of it there, and then wham, caught 2 fish on it.
Yeah. I seen it happen. I thought, now what the? Because I had a jig on that was watermelon and black, and I'd done cut it off and changed on to something else, but I should have kept throwing it.
I never know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I had that thing turned up there. The watermelon was on the bottom of the bait, and the black was on the top, just like he fixed that Z-hog up. And I'm some gun. I got frustrated earlier in the night with it and couldn't get a bite on it, and wished I'd kept it on.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of baits, it just seemed like the fish might have been there, but they sure wasn't biting anything we was throwing at them.
Yeah, that's a fact. Right quick, before we get into this video here, I want to thank Jeff Parrott he sent me a couple of texts. He's been out fishing a little bit, and maybe here at the end of the show we'll get this over with. We can get him on the phone here and tell us how he's doing. Reynolds Racing and Marine, folks. He's got that H190 down there with the center console and stuff. Get on their website, and plus I think he still has 2 of those 18-footers that's all rigged out, ready to go. Now, Mike and I took some film of that a couple of weeks back, and you've seen that. But pull up their video and on their website there and look those things over. They're nice rigs. The 190B is a center console. It's camo. So you guys that's duck hunting, deer hunting on the islands or whatever that might be, and then if you just want to go out and fish, you've got yourself a heck of a rig.
Sure do.
So remember Reynolds Racing and Marine, Edgemore Outdoors, IOUE. I can't thank our union brothers letting us help supporting us over here at the show, and we really appreciate it. All righty, we're going to get to it. Chandler, you ready? All right, let's go. Now, our TV ain't on.
All right, viewers, welcome to Edgemore Outdoors, and welcome to another fishing seminar. But before we get started, hey, let's meet the crew that serves you and can get you all your fishing needs right here at Edgemore Outdoors.
Okay, guys.
And I'm Vance. I've been working here for about 8 years
Avery
now.
took off.
Avery ran. This right here, we'll turn it over to Dad here.
Okay. Hey, look who you just got.
See,
Look here who you got.
Come on, that's it.
And
Get your kids.
this is Mom. Her name's Rowan.
Okay.
This is Dad. His name's Scott. And then this is Avery.
All right, guys.
His name's Drew.
All right. You guys wave goodbye here.
See you guys.
All right.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
As part of this seminar, some really good homemade ice cream was made by Hit and Miss, the ice cream company. And it was good if you missed out on this one right here, that's for sure. All provided by Edgemore Outdoors. All right, let's meet our guest host today for our seminar, which is Joe Lee from right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Joe is a captain with the Knoxville Fire Department. When Joe's not working the fire department, he's out working these bass tournaments. Here's a picture of him from MLF Bass Tournament, and he also fishes the Bass Masters Tournament as well. This seminar is going to give you some insights on how to keep your bass alive during a tournament in your live well.
We're here on the night that I talked about fishing deep. We talked about some of this stuff, but Dad asked me to do talk about how we get those fish. You know, we're talking about fish we're keeping, so this is mostly a tournament situation. How we're getting these fish from catching them and riding around in the boat for 4, 5, 6 hours, and then getting them back in the lake viable. So that's kind of what I'm going to walk us through. So anyway, so we want to be able to get those fish back in the lake where we can catch them again. That's been our goal since the mid-'70s when Ray Scott realized that, hey, we could really do something with this if we put these fish back. I go back and look at some of my dad's old pictures from some of the early BASS tournaments. They were bringing them in their own stringers. You guys have seen those. That's not that long ago. Ray Scott thought about that. Forrest Wood invented a bass boat and had a live well in it, and it's all kind of kept growing and evolving from there. But it's pretty cool that it's something that we can do. And do we lose a few fish? Yeah. Have you seen tournaments where they lost a bunch of fish? Yeah, it happened. But nobody's trying to kill them. We're trying to keep them alive, and things have gotten easier to do that over the years. There's more tools out there. We've learned more about what keeps a fish alive. But the bottom line is that we're putting a lot more fish back alive now than we used to, and a whole lot more than we did when this concept of tournament fishing first began, when we were keeping them. One thing to keep in mind, is there is going to be some mortality. You're catching a fish, taking it out of its environment, hauling around all day. That's going to happen. There's no, I don't think anybody's out there not trying to keep them alive, not trying to take care of them. So, when we see people out at these tournaments that are losing fish, instead I've seen people get mad at them. Instead of getting mad at people, we need to try to talk to them and try to help them learn what they can do, the things they can do to help keep fish alive. Sometimes somebody's, pump quits running, live well quits running. So what we got to keep from doing is coming down on each other because nobody's wanting to kill them. And according to the law, we can all take 5 home and eat them every day anyway. So that's kind of the mentality you got to have that. But I say that just to say that to promote a spirit of let's help each other learn how to keep these fish alive, learn how to get them back in the lakes and viable to be caught again. So that's kind of where I wanted to start with all this. And like I said, a little bit of history there about where we came from taking all those fish out of the lake to putting them all back in a lot of tournaments now. Sometimes the tournaments that have 100% release rate. Now another thing to think about before I get into the meat and potatoes is when I was in school at UT doing wildlife and fishery science, there was a guy there doing a study about delayed mortality. What happens 2 days later, 3 days later after we turn these fish loose. And I don't remember, something happened, I don't know that I ever read that study once it was finished, but I helped him a little bit on the front end. And what they were finding, there was a little bit of mortality a couple of days down the road, and it wasn't very significant. It wasn't a whole lot of it. So what we're finding is if we get them back in there and they swim off, that most of them are making it. Most of them are making it, and they're going back out and assimilating themselves back into the fish population, and then we're catching them again, which is, that's the picture we all want to put out there, and the picture we hope we're living up to is that fish are getting released to get caught. So that being said, we want to do everything that we can do. I want to do everything I can do personally for every fish that comes in my boat, that to give it the best chance of swimming off at the end of the day. The first thing, and like I've got here in my notes, the first thing starts with the catch. Paying attention, especially when we're using the small baits, that we're not letting the fish eat the bait too far. That's the very first thing, is that we're paying attention, we know when a fish bites, and we're catching him in a good, safe place in his mouth. And, there's some baits, when you start fishing light baits, Ned, little light Texas rig worms, things like that, that's when you got to be careful. Carolina rigs, stuff like that, that's out there on the loose line. You got to watch about letting the fish eat one too deep. Next step that goes along with that is if you do catch one where the bait gets down in his throat, down past the crushes where you can't get it, the best thing to do is to leave that hook in there. Cut the line, don't dig at it. If it's down in there where you can't get it, cut the line and leave it. And I've seen a lot of fish caught again with a hook in their rug. So if you start digging in there and start getting that fish bleeding, then he's going to die right then. So his best chance of making it is to leave that hook in there. And that's anybody that you ask out there that knows will tell you that. The best thing to do is leave that hook alone. If it's something you can get, then get it. But if you think, hey, I'm going to make this fish bleed if I do that, then leave it in there. And I don't know how long it takes, but they do come out. I've seen fish pass some hooks out there, out by their anal fin. I don't know how they did that, but they passed it all the way through their body. So, they're tough. And I don't want to be, it's like deer hunting. You don't want to wound the deer. You don't want to leave a fish out there with a hook in it, but sometimes that's your only option. So just know that is an option. You don't have to get those out if they're in a bad spot. All right, so from this point on, in this talk, there's tons of opinions and there's tons of right and wrong answers on what I'm talking about. What I'm going to be telling you is my opinion on what I think is the best way to care for fish. Is it the be-all, end-all? No. Is there going to be people that disagree with what has worked for me? Yes. But I'm just giving you my experience, what I've seen that worked to help keep fish alive. Like I said, if there was 10 pro bass fishermen here, all 10 of them would have different ideas of what works. But so I'm giving you what's worked for me, what's worked for people I know. So starts with a catch. Get that fish in the boat quick. It's when you play a fish too long, it wears them out, and it gets the adrenaline and different chemicals worked up in their body, and it makes it harder for them to come back. I'm not saying break your mind trying to get one in the boat. We're all trying to do it right, and play a fish out and get it in the boat. But the quicker you get that fish in the boat, the quicker you get him in the live well, the better chance that fish is going to make it all day in there and be released. So, if you don't have to walk him around the boat 15 times before you bring him in, do that. Get him in the boat, and then the second one is, what goes along with that, once you get him in the boat, don't stand around looking at him for 3 or 4 minutes. So get him in the boat, you want a picture, get him in the live well, let him breathe for a minute, get a picture, whatever. But, the main thing is that the less time that fish is out of water, the more chance. I mean, it's common sense. So we get carried away. We get a big fish. We want pictures. We want to look at it. We want to pet it. We want to love it. We want to hold it. Some people like to kiss them. I don't know. Everybody like to kiss fish. But anyway, we want to. Who? I don't kiss fish. Anyway, so that being said, get that fish in the boat. Get it, weigh, whatever it is your calling system is. If you want a picture, if you're in a tournament, get that fish in the boat, get it in a live well, and, don't mess around. One of my favorite things, and I don't even know if this works because fish breathe differently than I do. I've got lungs, they've got gills. But I heard somebody say one time, when you pull a fish out of water, hold your breath. And when you need a breath, he probably needs one. I don't don't know how that exactly works, but if it is a good thing to do to keep yourself reminded that you got this fish out of his environment. But pull him out there, start holding your breath, and when you need a breath, get him in the water, whatever you need to do, turn him loose, let him go do his thing. So, talked about getting him in the live well. So, every boat, every manufacturer's got a little bit different setup. But pretty much everybody's got something that'll pump water in, something that'll pump water out, and they've got something that'll spin it around or circulate it while it's in there. So you got, that's what I'm going to be referring to as a recirculator, and then we have the aerator, which brings water into the boat. So what do you do to prepare your live well for a day of fishing? There's lots of things, but when it's really hot outside, one of the things that I like to do is, when's the coolest water that I'm going to have all day? When I put the boat in the water. That's the coolest water I'm going to find all day. So, a really good trick to do, so you're going to fish tomorrow, and you're going to try to keep fish alive all day, is when your live well's dry, on your way to the lake, stop and get some ice. Couple of 3 bags, and put them in your dump them in your live well on the way to the lake with no water in there, just ice. Put it in there. Get to the lake, back your boat in the water. The first thing you want to do is fill those live wells. Now this is crazy because what if you're going to run 50 miles that morning? You might want to rethink it because you're going to be. But this is how you get the coolest water and the best chance for your fish. So I'm getting the coolest water that's going to be available to me all day. I'm putting it straight on ice. Once my live well gets up there to whatever my safe operating level is, I think a lot of times people overfill them because it doesn't let the recirculator get oxygen in the water. Because if you fill the live well all the way up, there's no bubbles being made. So I like to leave them down a little bit. So anyway, fill those live wells up, turn off the fill, aerate, whatever you want to call it. And then, when you turn the recirculator on, next time you put a fish in there, turn the recirculator on, and you never let any new water in that system. Only that colder water you got that morning. You've iced it, and so it's something that's different than the environment they're in. It's cooler. It's going to give them a chance. Now, going back to putting ice in the live well, and again, I'm giving you my opinion. Because you hear some people say, don't put anything with chlorine in there. I've heard some people will take a bag of ice and dump it straight in their live well. Some people wouldn't dare do that. They take ice, milk jugs full of ice and put it in their live wells. So I've never had any trouble. I've done it both ways. I've never seen a little bit of chlorine in a bag of ice hurt fish. Like I said, I'm going to say this and somebody else is going to say, that's stupid, you can't put that in there. But I've never had any trouble with it. Putting ice straight into the live well. I'm taking 2 or 3 bags of ice before daylight that morning, open them up, put them in my live well. But I wanted to touch on that because that's an iffy situation with the chlorine and the water. You worry about it, take you some lake water home and make you some ice cubes out of that or whatever, but the main thing is to get that water cool. I want to talk in a minute about a system that's out there that keeps your water cool. The guys I know that have done some research on this stuff say that we need to get that live well water about 10 degrees less than what the lake water is. That's what we're shooting for. Because it's not that we're taking them out of water that's, we're putting them in not the exact same water temperature. It doesn't work because those fish are stressed once they're in the live well, and that water's getting hotter all day. So you want to get that water temperature down, whatever that takes. I'm going to talk about this. And I don't even know if they're still available. I think they are. See that? Right there. Cool well. Buddy of mine invented that thing. It's a system you put in your boat, and it runs water out of your live well through like a radiator that's laid at the bottom of your cooler, and then back to your live well. And that would have a thermostat on it. Well, if water was 87, you could set it for 77, and it would run that water in the live well through ice to keep it at that temperature. So that's one I think there may be some other things out there like that, but that was called a cool well. You can look it up, see if it's still available. The best thing I've ever had in my life. It really worked good. Well, that's
Left-hand wine. Hey, folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And these over here, getting a little bigger sizes. Light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building's probably about 300 feet, one end to the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals they're going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could, they'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TVA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to the local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All
The
right.
thing you got to think about is, we're back to still on odds, is that it's going to be really hot. You may need to take more with you, And if you'll notice, you see lots of guys on the lake, even the touring bros, they've got an extra cooler in the boat, and 3 or 4 extra bags of ice, because our main goal is to get those fish in and weighed and back in the lake. And whatever it takes, if you got the tolerance and the problem of having to deal with an extra cooler in the boat all day, it's okay. You got to keep those fish alive. Sit it in the floor, you strap it down on the back deck, there's all kinds of things, but we're all innovative, and there's a lot of coolers that are different shapes and things, so whatever it takes for you to keep that water cool in your boat and make that effort. Because like I said, ain't nobody trying to kill them. That's what, we're doing everything we can to keep them alive. There's chemicals out there that you can put in a lot of that to help keep them alive. I was looking at a bag of old tackle, and I found a jar of catch and release. That was one of the first ones. And then the yard guys probably remember catch and release. And then what's the one everybody uses now? The G-Juice is the most popular one right now. So there are chemicals that you can put in your live well and help keep them alive. Research it. Don't just go out and grab something. Make your own decision. Research what's out there. what it does. You know, any of the guys that guide for stripers or stuff like that keep those shadow live all day and stuff, they can probably give you some ideas too on some mixtures of salt, peroxide. There's all kinds of things that are out there. And I'm not here to tell you which one works the best. I want you to know that there's different things out there you can do, things you can put in your live well, and I want you to research them. But the one that probably still here, but I know a lot of us do, is the G-Juice. That's a really good one. And you just add so much of that as compared to how much water is in your live well. And it's, these things are to, they support the slime coat on the fish's side. There's, they have oxygenated water, all this different stuff. So there's some really good tools out there. And that's what we want to do, is use everything available. You just got to decide what's best for you. Whatever works for you on what's the best chemical, or do you want to go no chemical? Lots of people are satisfied with keeping the water cool. Some people are, I've got to have the G-Juice, or I've got to have this. So you just got to try different things, see what works best, because everybody's live well is different. They all pump at different rates. Some live wells stay cooler than others because of what the position in the boat. But just because something works in that guy's boat doesn't mean that's what's going to work in yours. So you got to experiment some and see what works the best. Here's a little trick. I talked about, getting to the lake, getting your water, and never letting any more water in that live well. Just recirculate it all day once you get it cool. The one exception to that is say that, let's use an LDO for example. Say you're down around Carbide Park and all of a sudden you decide to run to Clinton because there's one place up there you want to fish. You get up there and the water's 68 degrees.
All right.
Steve, just sitting talking about fishing.
Hey, what's about? It's Steve Cox.
Hey, Steve, my name is Richard. I'm just saying the video that we're showing right now,
Yeah.
we can't hear a thing here at home watching that.
No kidding? Dang, I wish you...
Yeah, I mean, it's really bad. I mean, you just can't tell what's going on.
Yeah. Well, son of a gun.
It'd be good to just hear you and your brother talking about fishing.
Well, we'll just do that here the rest of the show. How's that? I didn't know you wasn't getting... I'm sorry you didn't get a good audio. We've been watching it here at the studio. We got the volume.
You hear it okay?
Huh? Yeah, we're hearing it fine here. Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, maybe other people can. I've got a good signal, and I'm seeing it good on TV.
Yeah.
I just can't really make out what all he's talking about.
Right.
Like the camera and the microphone's too far away.
Yeah,
So
okay.
but if everybody else can hear it, that's cool.
Well, hey, that's wonderful. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's see what time it is right here. I've got about
30 minutes.
Yeah. Let us finish showing the rest of that right quick, and then we'll put these 8 fish that Mike and I caught up there the other night on the screen, and
Sweet. Okay.
go from there. How's that?
Hey, that sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for letting us know, brother.
All right. See you.
See you in a little bit. Okay, Mr. Chandler, you can show some more of the fishing seminar there with Joe Lee, will you? All righty. We got a lot going on here at the studio and that kind of thing. Mike and I, we didn't. Jeff filmed it for us, and we've been sitting here watching it, and we're hearing it pretty good on our end. But I can understand how things get bobbled up, out there in the video world. So we've been doing pretty good with it, but. Chandler's going to go back to it here for another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll show this film we shot Saturday night, and that was it Friday night or Saturday night? Friday night, yeah, Friday night, and we'll talk about that and why I got you all on here right now. I want to say hello to Bill and Charlie and Jeff and Mike Pennington and Ray Bryant and Ed Galt and all you people that do watch us. And we pulled into the gas station up there Friday night, and Mike went over across the street to get his what did you get?
Chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich, and I was putting gas in the boat, and this guy come up to the side of the boat and said, "Let's go fishing." And I said, "Yeah," and he said that he fished a lot with Ray Bryant, fishing for crappie and stuff. And I said, "Yeah, I know Ray, and I'm glad to meet you." So you know what, this makes us appreciate what we really what we do, and even though it's a hardship for me to get Mike to catch a fish every now and then, we enjoy it, and we like hearing from people and that kind of thing. It just it'll surprise you. I wouldn't have never thought in the world that guy was up there at Clinton at the gas station and come over there and let me know. He watched the show and fished with Ray, and so that makes everything worthwhile.
Sure does.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't catch them. And right quick while Chandler's doing what he's got to do back there, we got some fishing reports from a lot of guys are fishing and catching some bass on Chickamauga, and they're catching up in the 30s, and some of them talking about catching 40 or more. Frogs and stuff out of the grass, and that sounds good. Another gentleman was on Watts Bar this past weekend, and he couldn't wait to catch up with me there Tuesday at work, and he said, "Man," he said, "I tell you what," said, "I had that son of mine with me," and said, I throwed a frog out there in the grass bed, and said, jerked it about twice, and said, "There's one about 4 pounds, just didn't held it." He said, "I pulled him there in the grass," and said he got off, and said I throwed right back, and said the next one that hit it was about a 6-pounder, and he said he was all in the grass, and he got off, and he said, I kind of got aggravated then, and said I dropped back and threw it again, and said I guarantee you that fish, that third one that hit, would have weighed 8-pounder better. And I said, "Well, heck," I said, "What happened?" He said, "I was so mad," said I told my son, said, "We're going home." I said, "Heck, you should have stayed." He said, "Yeah, after I got halfway home," I said, "We should have stayed."
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's, that's kind of what's going on. And I'll tell him, I'm going to tell this in front of Mike and Mike Pennington. Mike Pennington, this other fella at work told me they was catching the fool out of them crappie down there trolling. Some nice ones. So, if you're listening, which I'm pretty sure you are, I wanted to pass that along to you. But they're on Watts Bar, and they're trolling them little old plugs, man. He said they're catching some dandies.
Mm.
So, Mike, he may take that up here next week. So you don't never know, till you get on things and get catching them. Talked to the boy at work today. They've been throwing a shaky head,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he said they caught 20 something. Most of them was Kentucks.
Yeah.
On that shaky head, that green pumpkin worm.
Mm-hmm.
And he said every boat dock we come to had fishing under it. I said, "Well, I don't doubt that a bit, hiding from that bright sun."
Yeah. Yeah, it's shade.
Yeah, getting in the shade. So that'll be something to try. They caught a couple of, I don't know, 3 or 4 smallmouth, but most of the fish they caught was them Kentuckies.
Mm.
And so they're still in North Lake. They're probably not as plentiful as they used to be, but they're still there. And so I was glad to hear that's what the most of most of the fish they caught was Kentuckies. And
That's where they was on North.
yeah, it was on North
Yeah.
this past weekend. Sure was. In the daytime.
Yeah.
And they was throwing a shaky head, and caught several fish up in the 20s. So it can't beat a deal like that.
No.
For sure. Mike and I are just waiting for the dadgum water to get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 40 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 40 feet. We need it
Yeah.
down there about 40 feet. And then look out.
I couldn't believe what they was talking about on the news at Colorado River. They got 2 lakes on it that everybody gets their water out of. and they said Lake Mead was down 40 foot, and said if it went down any further, they would probably have to quit generating. And then the other lake was the same way too. It was way down.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what them people was going to do when they had to quit generating.
Well, let's just hope that and pray that they get some water out that way.
Well, they said, they had to quit generating so they have water to drink and everything.
Water to drink and irrigation for the crops and stuff. Yeah, I can understand that. I've been across that Hoover Dam about 4 times. Yeah, it's beautiful out through there, and without a doubt. So anyway, we just hope that they do get some rain out that way. And
yeah, we could share a little of ours.
Yeah, we've kind of had a little overabundance here lately, for sure. So we could share a lot. I wished we could put it out there where they need it. But that's kind of the way things go.
Well, a few years ago, we didn't have enough. Now we got too much.
Now we got too much, and it reverses right back out their way. If we don't have enough, they're getting plenty, and that kind of thing. So
well, it ain't been that long. A few weeks ago, they was talking about flooding out there in Vegas or somewhere.
Yeah, they had some heavy rains come through there and done a lot of damage and stuff. So, I guess some of the things we do don't help the situation much. But we're looking forward to getting on north and dad blame fish. You go up there in that moon bright, and them suckers just hide. And the fish, the 6 fish that we put in the boat, they were in that 25 to 30 foot range, and I was some gun. Them 2 that Mike caught there in front of the boat ramp, they were in 35 to 40 foot of water. Yeah, and it makes you. How good is the eyesight on a bass?
They say it ain't too good.
Yeah, but. Yeah, okay, so we're up there in the dark, and you're catching them 35, 40 foot of water.
Yeah.
On a little old bait that ain't 2.5, 3 inches long. Now, I can't. Them fish go. I know they go by a lot of vibrations in the water, but they got to be able to see a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But that was when he done that, which we had done run in there to the boat ramp and was going to make a few casts, and he caught them 2, and I had a fish on that got off, and I thought, well, shoot, we should have been here and fished all night. But anyway, we should have fished out a little deeper. But we thought the magic number was 25 to 30 feet, which that wasn't it. It was a little deeper. Now, heck, the water came up, 8 feet?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and
6 at least for sure.
Yeah, so our 30 feet was really 35 from where it had been. And so anyway, and then Mike turns around and he puts him on a new Z-hog, takes a Sharpie and colors the back of it black. Well, I had a jig with watermelon on the bottom and a black on the top, and I done cut it off, and some gun, he wasn't up there blacking his bait up with a Sharpie. Yeah. Nah, this ain't right, Mike. I mean, and so, and here's another thing. Had a bunch of jigs poured up, a gentleman poured up a bunch of heads for me and sent them to me through Bill. And a lot of them had green heads, and a lot of them were black heads. Well, Wesley, he gets up there with me one night, or the night that I caught the 22, they put 22 in the boat after he went to sleep on me. And he caught a few fish there before he took his nap, and he wasn't getting a bite, and I said, well, let me see your bait. And he said, I think it needs a black head on it. Well, I took the thing Sharpie and blacked the head on it. Well, it wasn't 3 casts. He caught one, then he caught another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so you tell me, what difference did that little old, that 3/8 ounce head is just about like your little fingernail. And what made the difference between a green head and a black head?
Well, I've seen the time with it, just a touch of orange on the tips or something, or a little chartreuse on it or something, makes all the difference in the world between
but
getting a bump here and there.
I know, we've talked about that many a time, but that was the key. They wouldn't hit that green-headed jig.
Yeah, but
I had one tied on that was a 3/4 that was a half ounce, and I didn't get a bite on it either. And I kept, I thought, well, heck,
how many
nothing wrong
times
with that
have
jig,
you been throwing and couldn't get nothing, and then pull your jig up there and look at it, and there'd be a little bit of scum or something up around the head of it, or next to your line, or on your line, or something on the hook or something, and you clean it off, and then all of a sudden you go back and catch them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Once they get close enough to it, they can see it, even in the dark.
I don't know, Mike, but that was, a little old green head versus a black head.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve, Jeff Parrott here. How are you, sir?
Jeff, we're doing good. How's Jeff?
I'm doing fine. Paul is over here cooking a big steak, and we're watching the show. I just wanted to apologize to your caller there. I think I tried to do the best I can there on the video. I think maybe the lighting and certainly some of the sound inside of the sponsors there, it wasn't the best. I think I was using the GoPro camera, and it could have made a little bit of a difference. But anyway, it's just the way it is, I guess. But I was going to give you a little bit of an update, you and Mike. I went out Tuesday and fished the Lewiston Sea area there, and I sent you in a picture. What I found out there, Steve, it's that TBA and TWRA, back about 15 years ago, they planted these, they're called bald cypress trees at the water's edge of the standard full pool for North Lake, and also I know they done it on Watauga. Well, those trees are pretty thick now, and so I thought, well, I'm going to get out there and try to fish a little bit and jig around those trees, and I did, and caught a real good largemouth. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're attracting smaller bait fish during the daytime, and it just gives the fishermen another target there on Norse and Watauga to do some maybe some flipping with worm or a jig around those trees. And that's kind of what was going on this week. And also last week I caught one there last week in another cove out there just out from Lewiston Sea, and one of the hollows there where those bald cypress trees were.
Well, that sounds good. Those trees they've been thriving ever since they put them out, Jeff. You're exactly right. And
what they done that. They put them at the water's edge of a full pool, depending on the lake. If it was North Lake or Watauga or whatever, I think those were probably pretty close to the 1018, the 1020, of which 1020 is the full pool of Norse, but they were in that area there, so it would give them a chance to grow. They've grown quite a bit, so they've accomplished their goal. They attract a little bit of bait fish, but I did catch a smallmouth there too, and the water temperature was still high. It was around 81, 82 degrees. So those trees, for all you bass fishermen that are out there that are fishing a daytime tournament, you might want to consider hitting a few of those trees during the day. You might get some pretty good luck out of it.
Yeah. They got they give off a lot of shade. That's
right. That's right. It's
they're
real
thick
shady
trees.
there, and I've rode a wacky worm and just right up there in the treetop there, it's actually toward the bottom of the tree there. And I know that when the water gets down a little bit lower, they'll leave those trees. But right now is a good time to give that a try.
That sounds good, Jeff. I appreciate you letting us know that, and glad you got out there to fish a little bit. You know, we're just going to keep on, like I said, depending on the weather this weekend. I'm hoping that we don't get a rain there Saturday night so I can go up there for a little while.
I know what you mean there. I know Mike, he's ready to jump on those crappie again there. It's just around the corner. Fall's just around the corner.
Yeah.
And while I was out there Tuesday, I looked around there and I noticed some of the poplar trees are trying to change colors. So it's around the corner.
Exactly right, Jeff. You're exactly right.
You guys have a good rest of the show there. I just wanted to chime in for a minute there, and I done the best I could there on that Joe Lee thing. I think I just had a little bit of slight sound problem, but that's okay. It was a good seminar. Joe done a great job. The next time I'll try to get a little bit better camera footage there. I was using that GoPro that I use out of my boat and use out of a kayak, so that camera you got there on the table is probably the better one to use. But anyway, it's good to watch you guys. I'll sit back and listen in, and we'll go from there. And you guys have a good, successful night tomorrow night if you guys get out there.
All right, Jeff. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right. See you, Jeff, bro.
Goodbye now.
All right. Bye, buddy. Okay, Chandler, take us to a commercial break, will you? All right. Hey, folks. We're over here at Edgemore Outdoors and got Vance back here. They've got a new selection of, what is this called now, Vance?
This is all queen tackle.
Queen tackle, okay.
It's all tungsten. They got tungsten weights, flipping weights. They got drop shot weights. All the jigs are all tungsten heads. There's flipping jigs, football jigs. There's swim jigs down here too. That's all of it's tungsten. There's shaky heads right here.
Okay,
That's
all tungsten stuff. Well, Vance got my attention with one thing. You can take any jig. Vance, get some of those bills. The chatterbait bills?
These aren't tungsten, but you can take this little chatterbait here and you can make a jig or a swim bait,
any
kind of head.
Throw it and put a shaky head on it.
Yep.
Son of a gun. I was just wondering how long that was going to take.
They've got different sizes in the blades there. There's silver, gold, and black.
Silver, gold, and black, different sizes in the blades. And like you said, you can take a white jig that you're flipping and put that dang bill on it, and you got you a chatterbait.
That's right.
Well, I wish me and you had thought of that. Folks, listen, do get by here, Edgemore Outdoors. Just swing around here, look at, gosh, I mean, man, the racks are hanging full of stuff, line, oil, just everything in the world here at Edgemore Outdoors. Jim and his crew would be more than glad to help you find what you need back here on the thing. I mean, it's just I just hadn't had a chance to get over here. I've been wanting to come by and make a new film, advertisement for Edgemore Outdoors, and we just thank you for their support here over the years, keeping the show going, and it's just row after row of tackle, baits, plastics, crappie stuff, catfish stuff. They've got live bait, reels, rods. I mean, it's just, if you're looking for it, more than likely they have it over here. So do come by, stop in here and visit with Edgemore Outdoors, and I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied and they can help you find what you need. All right. Chandler, you got us ready? All right, we're going to show the film we shot there Friday night.
I see you got one there.
Yeah, Mike, I got one. Heck, you can talk a little louder.
Pretty slim.
Yeah, he's poor.
Looks like he starved to death, huh?
Sure does. He's starved to death. He's got a hook down in him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where's the scissors?
Yeah.
Let's cut this one.
All right, folks. See, you got a Nice smallmouth there.
Been hit on the top of the head there, Mike.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it been hit,
Yeah, sure has.
hit on top of the head or something.
Pretty good fish, though.
Pretty good fish, sure is.
Yeah, that's number 2.
Number 2.
All right, we gotta get a picture of him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you ought to give me a pat on the back.
Pat on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We up here on Friday night, and that's the second one he's caught. He's been stumbling, bumbling around up on the front trying to figure out what to catch one on. So maybe he's found something. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so.
We get after him.
That fish wasn't.
All right.
Well,
He connected with another one there, small one, but good fish. You just
Watch
don't
it.
want you to touch that lip, buddy.
no, he's all over the place.
All over the place. Just
Yeah.
don't touch that
Come here.
lip.
You little rascal, you. Now I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I had him hooked just right.
Yeah, you got him hooked just right. Didn't want you to touch that lip, okay?
All right, Mike,
Put
got to
him
do
back.
something.
Get another. All right, see, you got him another one there.
Yeah, Mike.
Little smallmouth.
Yeah,
Pretty good, pretty good.
pretty good. That's pretty fish right there now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Healthy.
Okay.
Back out. All right, see, he's got a nice fish right there.
Yeah, buddy. Pretty and ain't he, Mike?
He's pretty fat and healthy, too.
Yeah, boy. All right, let's get him back in. There you go. There you got that around, wrapped around.
See, you got him a largemouth there.
Yeah. Sure
Very
did.
good.
All right.
You got him hooked good anyway.
Yeah, boy.
That's a nice fish.
Pretty little old large mouth.
Yeah, buddy. Back. Catch him again next time.
Yep, let's get another one. Cheers.
All right.
Yeah, Mike's got one here. If I can get him out of the net. Yeah, boy. Got that gum. Got it. Almost. Come loose there, buddy. Dadgummit. There it is. Yeah, boy, Mike.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Ring out around
Hey,
his mouth.
you've got him wrapped around every which way, ain't you?
Yeah.
All right.
He's wrapped around.
Yep. Back in the water he goes.
Yeah, throw him back in there.
Yeah, that was good.
Another.
Second fish here now.
Yeah, we got him.
Back-to-back cast.
All right.
He's doing good.
Doing good. Found a honey hole here.
Yeah, right there he goes.
He's gone. You get another.
All right. There they was.
Yeah.
And Mike, how come we didn't have them 2 fish you caught there at the boat ramp?
That was him.
Oh, it was them? Okay.
You remember I had the camera and let you go ahead and hold them up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I wondered how that got mixed up. But anyway, you saw the moonlight flickering off the water and all that kind of stuff. So disappointed that we didn't really have a extraordinary night, but that just didn't happen. And like I said, I don't know. We fished a lot of that, set the boat in a 30, 31 foot of water and you know, fishing that jig right out to the boat and just didn't get enough bites, for one thing.
No.
You know,
I
so,
know some of them had to be red-eyed to just knock the devil out of them just for a second. Go.
yeah.
Take your pincers off your dang bait or something, you know.
Yeah.
Or get your trailer bait or whatever.
Yeah. Well, still yet, I you know, I'm back on that dang green head versus a black head. I think if your bait's got black in the skirt, you ought to be fishing a black head. Now, if you're throwing a straight watermelon, I don't see nothing wrong with that watermelon, or that green head.
No.
I mean, it's just Yeah, and some of the heads, if you got some chartreuse in the jig or whatever, I think a green head's good. Yeah, but heck, man, that little old black spot versus, but it was a proven fact. Wesley hadn't done no good, and I just downed his bait and took a Sharpie and blackened that head up, and it wasn't 2-3 casts after that. He done caught one, then caught another one.
Yeah.
So it just the slightest thing, and we've told that 100 times on this show that, hey, if you're not getting a bite up there night fishing, especially, if you don't get a bite in 20 casts, do something, change something.
Yeah.
Cut the thing off, throw it out in the water, and let it go. Tie you on something else.
Change places, do something.
Yeah, change colors, for sure. And most of the time, wherever, when you pick a good place, there's fish there. You wouldn't be there fishing to start with. But don't be afraid to sharpen, like I said, Mike Sharp, take a Sharpie and color the back of the trailer or just anything, change colors, go to something brighter, something darker, and you'll finally get a bite. You'll figure it out. They'll let you know when you get the right thing on.
Yeah, it wasn't like that was the first time I throwed that Z-Hog, because I throwed it before dark, and I had been catching fish on it at other trips before dark, and several times during the night there I kept throwing it out there, trying it, 2 or 3 throws on a place, and swap out and you get another rod and go back to throwing something different. But never did get a bite on it until I put that black on it, and it was bam, bam, 2 in a row right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. We'll hope to see y'all next week, and God bless you all, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. Here at Reynolds Racing and Marine, 620 Ray Street here in Kingston. Got Mr. Glenn Reynolds here with us. Glenn, tell us about this beautiful Bullet boat sitting here.
Okay, this is the latest deal. It's called SST. It's 21 foot long. Has a lot of key features inside. It's got 3 coolers, so you keep your beverages plenty cool. Got a little wider front end up front. And it's got the recessed foot pedal for the new Spotlight trolling motors that I'm going to try to sell Steve one.
Yes, sir.
And it's a pretty silver and red.
Boy, it's beautiful. It really is.
Got the new 250R.
250R on that thing, folks. Man, this thing looks sharp.
That's just one boat. Of course, we got it in the background here.
Yeah.
We've got several side-by-sides.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then...
there's the big 5-seater. That's a 5-seater. Man. Dadgone it,
so
Glenn.
We've got a lot of side-by-sides.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got, of course, this is
Allison?
This is Allison color Pro Series.
Yeah.
It's called a Pro Elite.
Pro Elite, okay.
And it's got, I guess here is some of that. You can get this.
Oh, yeah.